So now the former Tennessee State University financial aid director is suing the school. We've got the lawsuit. We're just going to go right through it. Tanaka Vercher says that she was fired by TSU because of retaliation.
And it has to do with TSU's finances and scholarship money.
She was in charge of the verification where they verify if a student has already gotten their GED or their high school diploma before they can access some grants.
You can't have this money if you've not completed these verification steps and you haven't proved that you're allowed to go to school yet.
It's a pretty important step.
It's a huge step, and they were audited on this very fact from the Tennessee Higher Education Commission, saying that there were problems with them allowing students to have state and federal funding who had not gone through this verification step for the simplicity of a high school diploma.
So we fast forward to earlier this summer, and she says, well, this is going to take at least until October before we can get this funding into TSU. TSU officials weren't having that.
An outside group has come to help TSU with their finances. That very group told Ms. Vercher allegedly that October was too late to wait on this reconciliation process, that they needed the $7 million sooner than later.
And so Ms. Vercher says, I can't do that. I can't just verify that all of these people are good to go. Then the very next day, Ms. Vercher says she was fired.
Yeah.
By TSU. This is why she's claiming that there's some sort of retaliation here, because she says that they were asking her to essentially lie, and because she didn't, she lost her job the very next day.
What is really interesting about her leaving the school is we just had a board meeting with TSU, right? And the university officials told the new board that she abruptly left her post, not mentioning anything that was just put out in this lawsuit. And they said that all that institutional knowledge went with her, and that's why they were in a financial deficit without that funding.
This is a lawsuit that's coming from one side of the argument. TSU will be represented by the state attorney general's office. It's important to point out that this is a state school, so they would have state representatives representing them in court.
But I've never seen the government at odds with itself so much when it's going to come to representing themselves. We have state lawmakers who are upset with TSU. We have the Tennessee comptroller who's upset with TSU. I'm really interested to see how they represent this case, knowing what they know about the financial issues with the school.
This in no way is to ignore the fact that we've been talking about an underfunded historically black college and university this entire time. TSU, we know, has been underfunded to the tune of a couple $2 billion over the past few decades.
Right. And we've heard you all, right? We've read your comments, but there can be two things that are happening in a parallel time frame right here. TSU, yes, has been underfunded. The state has admitted so, and the federal government has admitted so. TSU has also had money mismanagement that has caused state audits to ping all sorts of many years, saying that TSU is not handling its money well. So there can be two things happening at the same time. It's just two humongous things happening at the same time, and one doesn't necessarily reflect the other.